like to welcome our second sponsor of the night to the stage, Rob Mullen, who is CEO at SmartFocus.
So I'd like to start by using my feedback button. Is it working? And take a show of hands. Who would like a 10-minute presentation and who would like a 20-minute presentation? I think I got a unanimous feedback, 10 minutes. Basically, I was asked to present on the future of e-commerce, and we believe it's all about personalisation. Everything I get, I ignore if it's generic. If I get the standard retargeted ad, who gets retargeted? Anyone? None of you? Who gets irritated that you look at a website and you get the same image for 2 weeks in a row? Anyone? It's the most irritating thing. And supposedly personalisation is easy because all you need to do is understand everything about your customer, know exactly the right image to put in front of them on any channel. Anyone got personalisation right? Okay, it's hard, and you have to get everything right. That's how complicated it is. You have to decide what the person's all about, as much information as you can get from them, whether they're anonymous or whether they're identified. Then you have to figure out, have they had any purchasing history? And let's ignore what happens in store. How much data goes in store? About 80%. What's your stock levels from your ERP system? You have to understand that, not just what's happening on your e-commerce site. You also have to understand what's going on with the image. You spend a fortune understanding your customers, and then you put out a generic image to them. You have to put a personalised piece of content. And in mobile, it's even harder. How big's the screen? Less than 4 inches. How much of that to put an image in? Less than a few. So who wants to put the right product in front of the right person on the right 2 products on that screen? All of you, I suspect. Now I have to understand all of my media, whether it's paid media, user-generated content, and I have to get that right. So I have to tag it. Now I have to link it to the persona. These are all the challenges all of you talk about when you're going to do personalization. And then, where are you on maturity? Are you just trying to pull this data together? Are you doing segments? Dynamic, and the lovely word of predictive. I've got to guess what products you're going to buy next. Who thinks they're good at that? It's interesting. I'll take a little survey, a more feedback button. I like that company. Who thinks they're really good at segmenting and understanding their customers in e-commerce? No one? Come on, you're the leaders of the industries, guys. What about dynamic segmentation on your websites? I'm getting pretty worried here. Should we go to the bar? And predictive. We're sales guys, we sell software. You're all meant to be doing predictive. You're meant to be using machine learning. What about deep learning? Who's doing any deep learning on their images? The industry, I think, is a lot further ahead in what we can do with technology. What I liked about the panel was practical. It's a nice name of the company I could have thought about. Unfortunately, it was stolen. What I believe when you think about this is it's hard. And if anyone tells you it's easy, it isn't. Getting all that data, trying to find the lookalikes, trying to find out what offers you make to people. And it's even harder in fashion. In FMCG, relatively straightforward. What's the latest trend? Who buys that? I like social, not for using it to target or find out who my fans are. I like to find out what people are saying they're buying right now. And the hardest customer I've got right now is the entertainer. Why? Because the people buying are not the people buying themselves. They're buying for someone. really hard relationships to put the right product recommendations. And then I've got all this content from my agencies, my search data, and then I've got to look at all the other types. And now I've got to figure out what to put on the first page. The easiest thing, let's get the email address. At least I can start talking to them. These are the challenges you guys face and the software platforms we try to build to help you. Now, mobile apps. There seem to be a mixed audience. It seems to be left and right. Who believes in apps? Come on, show of hands. It's nearly bar time. Luckily, the 6 people. That's kind of scary. So let's get rid of the external contextual relationships. Let's think about who's in store. Now, do you all shop? You look like a well-dressed bunch. Okay. When you shop, who likes shop assistants? No one? Do you know what? I'm a really bad shopper. When I go into Selfridges, I tell those elves to go away. When I found what I want, then I really want one of those elves. But the problem is I've annoyed them all by telling them to go away. A useful app to me, help me, and then know where I am. Think about how you make an app useful. The other great thing about Selfridges, I apologise for all of this, but I go there, is the car parking. It's free, and it's in central London. Now, if I had an app that says I can get free parking and free Wi-Fi, and the elf comes to help me when I want them, that's a useful contextual app. Who would use that app? See, I've just got you an audience. I do believe I like going to pubs. You can tell, beer belly, the whole thing. Reality is, if it's raining, if I know where the nearest pub is and it's playing a football game, I'm likely to go there. Me, apps are only useful if I know my customer base and what makes it useful. That's why we believe personalisation is about data, and that's what we do. We understand people, we understand what's useful to them, and then supply it. You're retailers in general, right? Yeah? You can nod. Retailers, that's what you do. Buy a product, make it as cheap as possible, supply it in the right place, and make a biggest margin. You do that by keeping customers happy. That's what personalisation and contextualisation is about. That's what we do. And it's not easy. There was one CIO in the audience. Any other CIOs? You have to do that stuff which marketers don't want to know about, because you have to make it, from the panel, fast, efficient, get it onto the mobile quickly. And by the way, that's the simplified version. Personalisation is very, very hard. Making it contextually relevant is difficult. You'll get a lot of presentations from a lot of people saying it's easy. I've been doing this for nearly 30 years. It's not. It's very hard, and I haven't even put all your logistics systems there. What I suggest is you do it bit by bit. You start with doing simple personalisation. You then start by finding feedback from your customer, and you evolve your data source. And then you start going to third party, where you start knowing when you put those images, retargeting, they're personalised. And you don't do too much of it, or just like any other form, you start losing customers. That was the 10-minute version. Did that work? Show of hands would be good.